So good evening everyone. Glad and pleased to have Yogesh Thorat here. In the morning in the auditorium we heard his personal journey in terms of timeline as well as the growth of MyPC. So I would not spend time on that. I would straight away continue from Kuldeep and Sachin's kind of interaction that we had here and probably move on to or take it as a kind of a next chapter in that interaction. And my first question to you as a 7-year-old organization, what is your thinking on this whole business model of MSP on and off switch? Because that also we heard, 1 year MSP on, 500 crore in the balance sheet in your case, 40 crore in your case, and next year MSP switch off, and then that 500 crore comes down. So how are you, and next year again new switch might be on. So how are you seeing this as a business model in the journey of, and I know you have some thinking and logic on that. So maybe requesting you to sort of share a little bit elaborately on that as to why my PC is into this MSP interaction under price support scheme or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, that is basically MyPC 1.0 and MyPC 2.0, because since last 4 years we federated farmer producer companies into two-tier structure. Because when we are making the comparison with the cooperative institutions, we identified that there is three-tier structure. So why not to create two-tier structures? So in case of the farmer producer companies, we are talking about two-tier structures, and we are successful in some sense to federate the farmer producer companies in the state of Maharashtra, because right now we have 600 plus farmer producer company under the umbrella of MyPC, and we have some business models as you mentioned. In case of MSP, yes, we use MSP tool for building the capacity of our member organizations for value chain handling activities, because in 2017 we did good work. We handled around 33,000 metric ton of commodity, but again 2018 there was a switch off, because the state said and again lot of monopolized issues of the state government, state cooperatives. So why to create farmer producer companies as alternate channel? But we were very firm. Yes, we are not operating in the mandis, we are operating outside the mandis. So that was our first proposition, because we were keen interested to create the markets outside the APMCs. So creation of the farm gate level markets or bringing markets at the farmer's doorstep, that was our fundamentals and that was our philosophy. Even a lot of bureaucrats were saying that doing business with government is very risky job, but we were saying that we are not here to do business with the government. We are here to use the market intervention schemes for value chain handling activities and building the capacities. And definitely right now we are at 2.0. We are thinking that, and we already started work accordingly. We changed our approach from socialistic cooperatives to corporate cooperatives. Accordingly, we are devising our systems, we are setting up our processes, that is number one. Number two, we are talking about corporate finance, because early in the morning we were talking about lot of constraint, but we are identifying the solutions. My friend told about low interest rate. Even we are thinking external commercial borrowings for the farmer producer companies, and already work has been started in that direction. Apart from that, yes, definitely there are fundamental constraint in the present design of the farmer producer companies, and exclusively we are talking about the companies, we are not talking about the organizations. We are talking about the companies which are under the Company Act only. So we are, our even members are not allowed, those are under Cooperative Act. We are exclusively under Company Act.
So there a question to interrupt you is that this is the logic of the federation. But let's say in this group all of us are FPCs. What is it that we get concretely in Rokada terms by becoming a member of Maha FPC. All of us are good FPC organizations. He has 300 members, I have 400 members, Yogesh has 100 members, this lady has 400 members, and all of us are in the range of 25 lakhs to 50 lakh turnover, running our operation in a small manner but decently, efficiently. So why we should become, we are happy doing our own way. Why should we be member of Maha FPC? What is it that we are going to concretely gain?
Yeah, as I said early in the morning also, Maha FPC was need-based organization, and the genesis of the Maha FPC was through the process that individual entrepreneurs or individual social entrepreneurs, they identified that we cannot work in silo. We need to come together, we need to work in economies of scale, and therefore we came together, and that was the logic of joining hands. And Maha FPC corely focused on identifying the business models. We did lot of pilots, because whatever case studies we are talking about, B2C, B2B, we did lot of pilots, and as Kuldeep was talking about losses, we generated huge losses in lot of pilots, and now we identified some business models, and right now our business models are the magnet to join the federation. So if anybody want to, and even in case of allocating the membership, we know, because I run one small village level organization, and even forming federation, that was my first question, because my balance sheet don't have 10,000 rupees. So that was my first question, why should I pay 10,000 rupees to membership fee? So even right now, those members who are not in the position of giving the funds, we are giving the business to them, and whatever profits they are generating, from that profit we are allocating equity to our members. So idea of the federation is not to run the federation on the equity shares of the member organization, but build the capacity of the organization, and our role is very, very clear. We are business facilitator for our member organization. We are not working in the conflict of interest. So whatever...
So just to understand that, let's say all of us are doing pulse business, and there is a MSP procurement on behalf of NAFED for Government of India, and all of us decide this year to work with Maha FPC, but next year, because we are not happy with Maha FPC and XYZ trader in APMC Mandi or some dal mill owner is giving us a better price, is it okay we ditch Maha FPC and go to that private trader if that trader is reliable and giving us a better price? Is that okay?
Yeah,
with
definitely, because MSP is one of the tool, and in case of pulses, oilseed, and even oilseed, we are not using that tool. So MSP, definitely that is one window to operate business with the government through MSP market interventions. But apart from MSP, as I said, in 2.0 we are shifting from business with government to business with the corporates. So right now we partnered with different corporates, different commodity traders, and the need of the FPC, because as I said, we are the facilitator only. So even in case of the morning discussion about brokerage and middlemen, yes, we are not brokerage, but we are the service providers. So we are providing services to our member organizations to deal with the corporate, and we have strong procurement channel right now. So we have capacity through MSP procurement operations, and on daily basis we are handling 1700 to 2000 metric ton of commodity we are handling on daily basis. So that is the power of aggregation, power of collaboration. So power of collaboration can deal very effectively with the market, because I cannot, single institution can deal with the corporates like ITC and any other player. So we have power of bargaining right now, and that power of bargaining can be come through the collaboration, that can come through the synergetic approach, and that approach and that capacity is with the federations. So that is the logic of coming together and federating for the business.
Tell us a little more about the challenges in management and governance, because from Kuldeep we have heard about 40 FPC members? 30. And here in the last state as large as Gujarat, probably you have 600 FPCs. And 600 FPC means 600 chairpersons, and then therefore 600 voices. And each FPC would have one CEO, therefore again 600 managers at the local level or at the FPC level. So how do you bring these 600 FPC voices? Of course, commodity is one. So some are in onion, some are in pulses, some are in oilseed. But how do you bring and coordinate these 600 voices? Because that's the bigger challenge for governance in terms of board, but also your own management system. So share a little bit on that, because that's also very critical.
Federating organization, and as I said, business model is the nucleus of the MahaFPC, and we are bringing members for doing the business. So we are not bringing members to take dharnas and to bring them on the roads, and that is not our philosophy. So fundamentally, anybody want to join federation, he has complete logic that yes, I am joining the federation for doing the business activity. Number two, managing these all institutions. So definitely that was a challenging task even in early days. 2017 we have only 30 members, and even those members we don't allocated the shares. Very poor corporate finance, no compliances, and our 2016 AGM that went for 5 to 6 hours, and everybody was shouting and fire out what he mentioned, and we identified that there is lack of the professionalism. So firstly bring the professionalism at the federation level, and then percolate that professionalism at the grassroots institutions level. So accordingly, right now I am the whole-time director or managing director for the institution, and I am as a manager for the MahaFPC or key management persons, and accordingly whatever we are doing, because your member organizations are observing federation, observing institutions, how you are managing your affairs and everything they are observing. So accordingly, number one, whatever changes we have to bring, we are bringing within ourselves or within MahaFPC level, so those changes are percolated at the farmer producer company level. Secondly, accordingly we are training the managers at the APU level. We are asking if any respected board is coming, we are saying that yes, you are the respected board, but this is not your job, because managing books is not your job, and you are not accountable. There should be some accountable person who will manage the institution, so that changes are happening. And thirdly, we are using technology rigorously.
So, tell us a little bit about the DBT work that you are doing in terms of MSP, payment prices directly into the farmer's account, the one that you showed during our field interactions.
Yeah, 2017 we had a very difficult challenge of managing 100 plus, and on daily basis at that time we have to give database to ministry and even PMO, and we were not able to manage because there was physical telephonic communication with our member organizations. They were not giving proper reporting, no MI systems, we were managing the Excels and lot of errors, and at the end of the day reconciliation was there, and we were identifying that payables, receivables, lot of issues. And later on we went simultaneously, we shifted into the technology ERP systems, and later on I am happy to share that that system has been nationally adopted by NEFED and all the stakeholders, and NAML is the service provider for the same right now, and accordingly bring identification of the problems and accordingly making changes and technology driven solutions. If we are bringing it to the systems, then I think definitely that is happening. And even in case of the payment mechanism during the corona times and everything was closed, 2 blocks we identified small storage structures of the farmers and a lot of losses, supply chain management, and we procured at that time countries around 60% of the buffer stock commodity, and that was huge challenge. Next year we said to NEFED, yes, this is not going to happen year 2, we need to invest into the infrastructures, and there was again RKY scheme in the state of Maharashtra, and one day we thought that this is long term business, and why we are not coming, if market interventions Adani is doing for FCI, why we are not entering into the infrastructure development for the NEFED. And one of our director, he thought that yes, there is government scheme, and again turnover limits and everything was there. If we are partnering NEFED into this system, we can build up this infrastructure. But again, idea of working with government scheme to bring the viability gap funding, and idea of working with NEFED, yes, whether we can take the long term business commitment with NEFED for next 10-15 years, that was one logic. And number 2, NEFED should be the investment partner. And that night we fled to Delhi early in the morning at NEFED office, and before entering into NEFED MD chamber, my friend told that yes, we are coming for the partnership, and you should talk in the equality. So you should not bargain that we are farmers and we are 5-10%. So we were looking 50% viability gap funding. So in the discussions we spoke about the scheme, last year experiences, and when point came, NEFED MD asked what is required from NEFED. I said there is 50% gap is there. You invest 25% and we are investing 25%, and that 25% was costing around 7 crore rupees. And how to raise 7 crore rupees? Because that was not even paid up capital of my IPC. But we accepted that challenge. We participated 25 organizations and we brought equity from the 100 farmers from each organizations, and accordingly we raised that equity, and out of 25, 19 projects are operational this year. And that idea of bringing infrastructure, because major challenge FPCs, we identified that they blocked their working capital into the infrastructures, and that became the dead assets. It is very good idea that FPU is building the warehouse, but ROI of that warehouse takes 10 years. So, and when I am building the warehouse, I don't have money to procure the commodity, and nobody is giving, because again asset monetization. So in 2.0 we are talking about an asset monetization right now. We have infrastructure around.
And that warehouse will be multi-commodity, multi-season, MMCDE. So during February, March, April, May, June, it will stock onions.
Yeah.
The whole assembly is on screw and bolt, nuts and bolts. So the whole structure is now, in Marathi they call it chal. One after one, एक के ऊपर अभी कांदा लगाया है, onion है. February, March, April, May, June, July, it will be procured onion, stored, offloaded in August, September, October before Diwali. Then the whole warehouse is cleaned up, nuts and bolts, nikal ke sab infrastructure bahar. Then it's a open space godown that will be used for procuring soybean. Soybean store karenge, October, November, December, January, February, it is sold, again it's ready for onion. The question that came, what happens to the return truck? Khali ja raha hai, uska asset ka utilization kaise? So that again is an interesting thing in terms of the discussion.
And last one that is interesting is about public-private partnership, because there is tripartite agreement. We had joint venture agreement with NAFED. Again, farmer producer company member had given land for 15 years lease. So it is not purchased land. So land lease, we reduce cost of the project. Number two, again profit sharing. So whatever profit is coming, we are sharing according to our investment. So that created one way to bring investment into the FPO structure, and through public-private partnership mode. So that was one of the assignment. It took around 1.5 years to materialize conceptualization and to bring that dream into reality. And you had that published in today's
I visited that, very inspiring, very inspiring. I visited two such this thing, and it's just not a go down, it's more than a go down because of the thinking. Last question, in a case study you have talked about political economy.
Yeah.
And all of us are politically and socially conscious in terms of the kind of thing. In our conversation, I also heard you saying that you have used the RTI to actually challenge the government as to why marketing federations are having the monopoly and why not you are sort of divesting it and including other places. So tell us a little bit about how you are managing the political economy, because I stopped wearing the white shirt the way Yogesh is wearing, because the moment you use a white shirt, you are aligned with X or Y or Z party. So better I use a color t-shirt. So how are you using the political economy?
So
how are you reading the political economy and responding to the political economy?
See, as you
That's the last question.
As you mentioned about some farmers movement in the state of Maharashtra, and we are looking toward farmer producer companies as a startups. So accordingly startups, but in DNA we are next generation cooperatives, and when we are dealing with the cooperatives, then we are dealing with the numbers of the farmers, and if we are dealing with number of farmers, then ultimately economies builds. And when economies are built, again there is a cycle of because as I said, business with the government. So it's not mere again business with the government, again it is again a loop of bailouts and everything. So that is the vicious cycle of the agriculture policy or the agriculture business across the country or globally. So managing policies in the political economy is definitely a challenging task. We faced those challenges. In 2018, I was traveling from Pune, I was going to Mumbai and I was coming back. I was drinking tea and I was coming back and waiting for ministers, waiting for everybody and allow us to enter into the procurement. They were saying that, and a number of reasons, including bureaucrats, and 1 year I vested into my time into that situation. But our logic was that yes, we want some handhold support in that sense. And again, because we are organization of the member institutions. One day some GR was taken in the interest, partial interest of our demand by government, and that day we all members gathered in Aurangabad within short notice of 10 hours, and around 150 members gathered in Aurangabad, and they said that no, we will come on the roads. We said that we are not the farmers organizations, traditional farmer organizations, and we opted for the judicial activism. So we filed a writ petition against government of Maharashtra. We made party to government of India. NEFED, this is our fundamental rights. And if there is merit, we are making representation you, and you are not deciding our representation since last 1 year. So at least you said yes. If it is yes, then it is okay. If you are saying no, say these are the 10 results, we will improve and we will come back. Otherwise, we will take U-turn and we will identify our, as I said, 2.0. So definitely we are bringing, as I said, lot of corporate governance and building our institutions, and as I said, we want to set up the economical systems. We are the market-driven economy. And so, as I said in 2.0, that is biggest challenges for us to how to deal with shift from business with government to business with the corporate, but based on our pilots, and again changing the mentality of the farmers to deal with existing instruments of the MSP, and definitely we took good points of the agriculture marketing reforms, and openly whatever our interest point we protected. We were the pro agriculture marketing reforms, but definitely now switch is there. Now ball is in the court of the states, and again we are taking advantage of our pilots, and we are convincing to the states. So it's ultimately managing the political policy, agriculture policies in the interest of the political economy.
Thank you, Yogesh. Thanks that you could manage. We wish him all the best. We wish MAHA-FPC all the best. Do visit them when you are in Pune and region. They have operations all over the state, so it's not necessary that you have to visit Pune. And as he has said, MAHA-FPC version 2.0, he himself is a farmer. That I forgot to introduce. He is an agri graduate, then a manage alumni that he did not, or that he mentioned in the morning. Has worked in Delhi with Planning Commission assignments for a number of years, and now back to his home village and hometown for MAHA-FPC activity. What I got inspired was that, like him, there are at least 20-30 young managers with him in his team. He's the face here, but his CEO, a very dynamic person, his finance person, all really in the age group of 25, 30, 35, all farmers by experience, not second generation farmers, but first generation farmers, and really want to do a different agriculture and therefore a different institution that he is talking as MAHA-FPC 2.0. So thank you once again. Glad that you are here, and hopefully association between IRMA, all of us, and MAHA-FPC will continue in years to come as you venture into MAHA-FPC 3.0, 4.0, and so on and so forth. So thank you.
Yogesh ji, I just have one question to you. I'm from Access Development Services, and we have promoted around 40 odd FPCs in West Bengal. And similar sort of initiative we are taking. It is more like, it is not project based, it's more like an initiative which we are taking. So we have already formed a farmers producer company. Currently we have around 8 members who are part of it. They have given share money. So I just wanted to understand, because with the 8 farmers itself, it's a very small scale startup sort of thing which we are doing. And it's more like within the organization only we are giving out whatever time we have, little bit time, we are providing it to them. But in your case, it's like full time. So that's great. So we are grappling with 2 major issues. One, I just wanted to understand from you, how are you managing the demand of the FPCs? One, what Ajit mentioned was in terms of systems, processes, management, 600 FPCs के 600 chairmen है, 600 CEOs हैं, उनके अलग-अलग demands होंगे वगैरह वगैरह. But in our case, I'm sure कि in your case also it will be the case that all of them, 600 of them will have different commodities, right? So कोई onion में है, कोई vegetables में है, कोई pulses में है, कोई तो वो भी बोलेंगे कि because I am your member, so why not? Why are you trading on onions only? Is it because of NEFED or there is an MSP that's the reason? That is one issue, how we are managing that. And for second thing, which Mr. Solanki also said, that as a federation, you need to go beyond trading. Because trading would be the first level of work that needs to be done at the FPC level. And then secondary or tertiary sort of processing needs to be done. But are you also into that, planning to go into that section, or it is more like trading only as of now?
In case of business modeling, because in the cases we were talking about no business models. So that is the opportunity federation should take. They should devise the business model, and accordingly that should be the driving factor or pulling factor for the members to join the federation. That is number one. In case of commodity specific interventions from MAHA-FPC side, we are dealing pulses, oil seeds and perishables like onion. So accordingly we had interventions into that value chains, and accordingly right now we are restricted. Early in the morning I said only these three verticals of the commodity. So idea is that because initially if you are talking about the FPO, हम तो जैसे हमने भी पायलट किए ना कि FPO ये खरीदे और वो वहाँ पे जाके बेचे, उसका ब्रांडिंग करे, होल वैल्यू चेन में प्रोक्योरमेंट से लेके हमने किसान है, हमने ग्रो करना चाहिए और हमने भी बेचना चाहिए, वो सब हमने कर लिया. तो उसमें दैट इज क्वाइट अपना जो रोल है वही हमने करना चाहिए. इसीलिए राइट नाउ वी आर रिस्ट्रिक्टेड. और आपने जो कहा ट्रेडिंग, वी आर नॉट इन द ट्रेडिंग, वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द मार्केट्स. इन फर्स्ट फेज यस 1.0 वी बिल्ट आवर कैपेसिटी फॉर इंटरवेंशंस इनटू द प्रोक्योरमेंट ऑपरेशंस, एंड हमने हमारा मार्केट तैयार किया. पहले तो हमारे ऊपर कोई बिलीव नहीं करता था. फॉर 15 डेज लोगों को हमारे ऊपर, हमारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, किसी के ऊपर भरोसा नहीं था, ये पैसा देंगे या नहीं देंगे. यहाँ से हमारी शुरुआत थी. एंड 20 मेट्रिक टन से हमने जो इंटरवेंशंस किए, राइट नाउ वी इस्टेब्लिश्ड अवर ब्रांड. तो वी क्रिएटेड द मार्केट्स एट द फार्म गेट लेवल. आज MAHA-FPC कोई अनाउंसमेंट करता है तो वी हैव स्ट्रॉन्ग ये है कि हमारा 50 करोड़ का कमोडिटी तो किसान हमारे नाम पे वेयर हाउस पे जमा करेगा. टिल डेट मैंने जो बोला, वी रन द इंस्टीट्यूशंस ऑन द सोशल कैपिटल. आज तक हमने कोई लोन नहीं लिया है. No loans from the formal institutions. Yes, we are tapping the loans. One proposal हमने नाबार्ड को भेजा था, लेकिन हमारी साइज अब बिगर होगी. मिनिमम टिकट साइज हमारी 50 करोड़ की होगी, हमारे 100 करोड़ की होगी. अगर 100 करोड़ 50 करोड़ के टिकट साइज में अगर हमें जाना है तो अकॉर्डिंगली हमारे बुक्स उतने स्ट्रॉन्ग होने चाहिए. हमारे मेंबर इवन वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द क्रिसिल रेटिंग ऑफ अवर इंडिविजुअल ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस, बिकॉज ब्रिंगिंग दैट ट्रांसपेरेंसी, ब्रिंगिंग दैट सिस्टम्स इनटू द प्लेस, तब जब होगा तब हमारा वॉइस बढ़ेगा. तो वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द मार्केट्स एंड लेवल 2 एंड लेवल 3 में इफ वी आर इन पल्सेस ऑयल सीड, वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट कलेक्शन, एग्रीगेशन एंड वेयर हाउसिंग. और वेयर हाउसिंग में हम ये नहीं चाहते कि हम प्रोसेसिंग करेंगे 5000 मेट्रिक टन. हम सोच रहे हैं कि हमारा अगले 3 साल में हाउ वी आर हैंडलिंग द कमोडिटी ऑफ 5,000 करोड़. अगर वो 5,000 करोड़ का हम करेंगे तो हम जाएंगे 100 करोड़ 200 करोड़ का प्रोसेसिंग में जाएंगे. बट दैट विल बी द phase-wise intervention into the value chain. That means primary processing, secondary processing and tertiary processing. Yeah. Thank you.